Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Our intro didn't play, so we're just going to go without it.
All righty then.
I think we have some proof. We have some a witness that everything you can try to do to get the show to work the right way, it doesn't always work out the way you want it to. So I apologize for those of you who are really, really looking forward to listening to the intro, and I'm sure most of you probably weren't. So thank you for understanding. Guys, we have a special guest with us on today. He's up very late, and he is a huge supporter and fan of the channel, but most importantly, I like to call him a friend. And if you haven't seen, he's probably not in the chat right now because he's with us here on the live.
No, he's in the chat.
And we have our friend Chat Pitco, as you guys know him. Welcome to the channel. And so I want to thank you guys for being with us today. We're going to do a couple things here. First of all, we're going to spend some time talking about the eBay Open, not only in the US, but Keith, along with Crazy's Life, went to the eBay Open in UK. And we're then going to kind of do our normal thing. We're going to try to, we may not get to all your comments, but you know, we're certainly going to just try to make the best of the show. As you guys know, I've been sick for the last, now 5 days, and it's much better now, but it was really tough, and it took every bit of me to not do the live on Monday as bad as I felt. So just want you guys to know that we will miss some lives, you know, here and there, but it's very important to me that we have these lives for the community and all that. But real quick, we have a super chat.
Mike.
How do it's not letting me activate it. It's really strange. Okay,
Oh,
so you guys know I'm on Streamcast. I mean, StreamYard right now. So, but thank you, Mike Camparelli, the $20 super chat.
Mike.
Another great friend of the channel. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you so much. But now let's get to you, Keith. You know, you've been a huge supporter of this channel for a long time, and you were with us for a while, and then you had left. So can you kind of go through your journey as a reseller and you know, kind of what happened and where you're at now?
It's quite a long story, but I'll try and get down a little bit. And basically, yeah, it's going back some years now when I first started watching you guys. Basically, I was a bit like you guys, you know, I was an everything reseller, and did that for a while, and then I ran into a load of health issues and ended up having 3 heart attacks. So it was sort of like a wake-up call in one sense, because I was doing way too much. But then so I basically took some time away from it, and sort of had took a bit of a back seat, should we say. And then when I felt ready, I got back into it and started doing a bit of everything reselling. And it wasn't until your friend Josh was doing a live one day that because I wasn't happy doing everything, you know, it was just not me. Didn't fit what I really wanted to be doing. My background qualifications, should I say, was in electronics anyway. So listening to Josh's live stream, it was not so much what he said, but it was like a subliminal message within a message, which sort of really hit home. And literally before he had even ended his stream, I was deleting things off my eBay. You know, I was already in the process. So like within probably a week, I'd got rid of all my stock in bulk and got all new stock in, and just completely changed direction. And that was probably going back around about last August. And since then, it's just been growing ever since. I went from last August, I was selling out of, well, this room I'm in now, to in January getting a warehouse, and I'm already filling the warehouse.
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
You know,
That's awesome. That is so cool. I love it.
So also now we've broken into the e-waste side of things. So it's like eBay's one side of it, and the e-waste is the other side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, want to get into, so you've been ramping up your eBay lately. So you had a chance to go to the eBay Open in the UK. I think it was what, in Ireland?
No, it's in the UK. It's in Birmingham.
Birmingham. Okay. So we had an experience, Josh Galt, myself, Mike Camparelli, we were all at eBay Open in the US. We came away feeling much better about eBay than, I hate to say it this way, but much better about eBay than what may be reality. And it took a couple weeks after eBay to see how things, to kind of remind ourselves how things have been above and beyond the 3 days. How is and yours is only a 1-day event from what I understand, right? So how was your experience at eBay Open UK?
Well, we sort of were promised a lot more this year than what last year was. This year was promised it to be bigger, better than it's ever been, sort of thing. I think a lot of the sellers that went was expecting long queues, to get in. But I mean, we arrived, me and the Crazy's Life, we arrived early, and there was nobody there, and there was literally no queue all day long. There was no queues to get in. It was just literally you walk up, scan your QR code that they sent you for your ticket, and you was in the door, So, but when the whole day, the place, although it wasn't even really a big room. I suspect you could tell from the video I did, it wasn't a huge place. But it was barely full. You've seen a few people walking about, but there's plenty of space. There wasn't rammed or crazy mad or anything. But as we was walking around and was talking to like other resellers throughout the day, they was all saying the same thing. Every reseller we met was singing from the same song sheet. That basically they weren't getting their questions answered. eBay didn't want to know. They wasn't interested. Not one of them had a laptop. They couldn't access their accounts.
Wow.
So yeah, it was very poor on eBay staff, that side of things. So I had the same issue. You've probably seen on the video that I went up and I was asking questions. They were just there looking at the sheets of paper, looking at the questions, but they couldn't answer them.
Wow.
They didn't have a straight answer for any one of those questions, and they didn't take any notes. They didn't even take my email address. So it was like, well, if these are supposed to be the eBay's top in their field, they're the specialists that are supposed to be helping you, and they can't answer your questions. What hope do we have?
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it was quite bad. It wasn't until we was leaving, and me and the Crazy's Life was like discussing, like what other resellers were saying. Saying the same as us, that it was, a bit of a poor show on eBay's behalf, sort of thing. When one of the staff overheard us, and so we got talking with them. I even let her take photographs of all the questions on the sheets, etc. And she said she would like chase it up with the departments and get them to follow up, and contact me. Which, went on for a few days, and then she messaged me again saying, "Have I heard anything?" And I was like, "Nope, nobody's contacted me other than you." And she was like, "Well, I'm going to chase this up again." And then she emailed once more saying, "Have you heard anything?" I was like, "Nothing." As I said before, it's like falling on deaf ears all the time. So she said that she wasn't happy about this, and she's going to try and get it all escalated. Let's move up the chain a bit to someone that might actually listen.
Yeah.
Well, and then I heard no more until this Wednesday. Was at work, and I was the phone went, and this woman come on the phone and sort of introduced herself as the head of the board of directors of eBay, and it basically explained that our complaints had basically escalated to one of the higher levels and needed to be addressed. So spent about 2 hours on the phone going through all the process again and again, all the different people we spoke to at eBay, different departments, and she's going to bring it up with the board of directors when they have their next meeting to see what they can action.
Wow.
Well, that's awesome there. But I got to say, if I had someone from the board of directors on the phone with me from eBay, I probably would go into that whole 30-minute thing that I went when I used my time for my store review. Instead, I used it to try to advocate for a better seller experience on the eBay platform. And I probably would have wasted that time with her.
As I said, I spent 2 hours on the phone, so it wasn't just talking about myself and my complaints or any general resellers that are from the UK. I mentioned you guys, I mentioned Primo's case, and I doubled down on Primo's case because I'd said that you guys had already spoken at your Open on behalf of Primo, and that it would be followed up on. And I said, basically, it hadn't been followed up on as like it'd been promised. So we're doubling down on this. I said, I know we're in the UK, you're in the UK and all that. I said, but I know you can reach out to your counterparts over in the US and find out what's going on with it. I said, I know I can't have any information about Primo's account or details. I said, but I can pass on the message for you to look into it. So that's one thing that they said they would, double check and look into. But like I say, until I actually see any action come from eBay, something that they've said they will do and actually do it, then I'm not going to hold out much hopes.
Well, and I want to make this clear because look, this is sort of a polarizing issue from some sellers. When I was at eBay Open, there was a lot of and there's nothing wrong with this, oh, eBay, great, cheerleaders for eBay. And there's others that were like, yeah, well, we'll see if, how this is implemented. There's people that have their doubts. And I guess there's people that fall somewhere in between. I like to try to fall somewhere in between to try to be fair. I'm not going to have an agenda against eBay, and I don't have an agenda, pro eBay. No matter what they do wrong, I'm always going to just ignore it and, just pretend like it didn't happen. I'd like to say that, if you earn your flowers, you're going to get them from me. And I went there with an open mind, and the way they presented the information, at least here in the US, was very positive and in a way where it kind of got you motivated to want to go back and just go home and start listing. And, when they promised me, hey, take a picture of my badge. This is the expert over trust and safety, apparently. Take a picture of my badge. Have them contact me, Primo contact me on LinkedIn, and I'll get back to them, quickly. And okay, so we do that, and nothing happened. When he contacts them, nothing. He's still waiting for a contact. You get you get in contact with these folks who you ask all these questions to, and they seem genuinely interested. They try to answer the questions the best they can, but when they can't, they're like, okay, let me get a picture of your badge. Many times they're taking a picture of our badge. That 30-minute session that you have where you can go in and talk about your store, I was talking about the pain points that sellers have with the platform. And to the point where after 30 minutes, it's like, I don't have any more time. I can't look at your store. I'll look at it later and send you a file. And at least she followed through. So I could give her credit that she followed through where nobody else did. And so I give her kudos for that. But it's just like you find that easy answers to questions that were posed weren't given. It's like, I don't know. And it's like, how do you not know? Like, for instance, one question was asked, how do you know what the most important item specifics are to fill in, so you're not filling all of them, wasting your time filling in irrelevant item specifics? And they're like, that's a good question, we'll have to get back to you. And like the answer screaming in my head, and I'm like, I can't believe that's the answer they gave. Maybe either A, they didn't know, or B, they didn't care enough to say, look, I'm going to step aside and get the answer for you while this other guy goes over the rest of your questions and answers, because that's a good question. That never happened. And the answer is, next to the item specific, they'll have either a number for the number of times that particular item specific was used to filter that search result, or it'll say trending, right? So you want to focus on those, make sure that those are filled out for the item you're listing. But that was the question, the answer that was given to the question. So it just felt to me like, if you were above beginner stage, maybe intermediate, you got a lot out of it. And if you were someone that has been doing this for years and have a lot of experience, it's more just a, rah, where's my lunch? Where's my, at least me, is like, where's the lunch? Where's the snacks? And let's just go and like mingle and talk to people, more of a networking session. And so we got out of it what I initially thought was going to happen, but because of the way it was promised throughout the interactions, that, oh, we're going to take your feedback, we're really going to try to improve these things, and to see that not only did those things not get followed up on, we were also given 2 weeks later, all sellers were given a little thing saying, hey, by the way, we're taking away your seller protections on returns. So if someone returns an item, you have free returns, and they leave you a negative, well, guess what? That ain't automatically coming off anymore. If you adjust a refund with the refund tool, that negative isn't automatically being taken off anymore. So this kind of thing could have been announced at eBay Open as well, but it only confirmed that they were only focused on the positive changes. And I think, look, the positive changes that they announced, in my opinion, were good and would have overshadowed those two negative things. It just came off as a little bit disingenuous at the end. And then to hear that what you went through when you were at eBay Open, that they didn't even go that far to even, and it makes me kind of ask the question, would you rather be told, hey, we were really concerned, we're going to follow up, and it never happens? Or would you rather have the experience that you did, where it's like, okay, well, we'll listen to you, but there's not anything we're really going to do about it?
Yeah, it just feels like it's, this company is $1 million company. I mean, I just don't understand the lack of communication. There's no reason for it. They have plenty of employees that they could give information to, and where's the disconnect? Like, I feel like there's so many disconnects within eBay that we don't even know where to go to get the answers that we do need. And it just feels like it's a big show. They put out all this money to fly their employees out to, your eBay Open, ours. And then once it's over, and it's like, oh, back to normal, and no answers, no communication. It's really a shame that a company this big is so disconnected from their customers, because we are their customers. We give them hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. That is, where is our money going, is, I guess, really, I mean, that's a
totally different, that's a rabbit hole. But
one of the things we mentioned was, how hard is it for eBay to train their staff to take a laptop with them to an open,
right,
and look into people's accounts, even if they can't answer the questions right there and then. At least they've looked into their accounts, they've got a record of it,
Right.
and follow up with it. I said, but to have nothing, to be armed with no tools to be able to help sellers, that comes across wrong to the seller. They're gonna walk away feeling like eBay don't care.
Right.
Yeah. And another experience that we had from the beginning that really started it off on a negative note. On the first day, we got there early. Hey, we're excited. We get there about an hour early. We figure we'll try to get in early, get our registration done and all that. And so we're standing there in this lobby, this hallway, and there's some guards there. And there's one line for when it starts at noon. And there's another line allowing people to go through that are top sellers. So I'm like, I've never heard of that before. What is a top seller? I've heard of top rated seller. So does this mean if I'm a top rated seller that I can go in and register early and avoid the line? So I asked this of the, this is not someone from eBay. This is a security guard that works probably for the Venetian Hotel. And they're like, we can't answer that. And another person said, well, if you have to ask that question, you're not a top seller. And I was like, I mean, come on. It's like a fair question. So Mike Camparelli walked through, and they just let him walk through. And it turns out there's a category of seller that if you sell over $500,000 a year, you're treated differently, and you're considered what is called a top seller. News to me. And you can get in and register. There's all kinds of perks they give you that's not known to anyone else. And that's fine, but it doesn't need to be so secretive. It should be, look, there's going to be two lines, one for top sellers, one for regular people, to avoid this type of confusion. And it started it off as it was a very frustrating experience. So, of course, they did a good job to make us feel differently. They covered the cost. There was no cost for you guys on this one, right? It was a free event.
Free event.
So yeah, they got everyone out to Vegas, $295. I thought it was okay. Well, it's worth the experience. Let's do it. They gave us our money back by way of a gift card, unbeknownst to us. That's great, right? Nice swag that they gave. I think it was a really good interactive experience for anyone who enjoys eBay, which we still enjoy eBay. But I think I speak for everyone out there when we say, look, we just want to be able to run our businesses in a fair way, at least feeling like we have some say in how our business is actually going to be ran, because there's so many policies that are just shoved down our throats on this is how you are going to handle your business. And I get it. There has to be some uniformity, but at the same time, we're delivered a product that every day there's a different problem on the platform, and it's like a secret. It's not anything where, we get a thing in our mailbox. I mean, they're quick to send us a message when we screw up on a Vero or something like, you screwed up here. But when something's screwing up on the platform that's affecting massive sellers, like there could be server issues, but there's also issues with, things like, we see them all the time, like listings not appearing properly or things like that. Let the sellers know, send a message. Hey, we're experiencing a problem with this right now in certain categories. We're working to fix it. We don't get that at all. It's like we have to watch a YouTube video just to figure out what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that way. They're not just, this is not just eBay's platform. They're messing with people's livelihoods and businesses that rely on a fully functional website. And I get it. It's an old platform. But at the same time, if they really want sellers to feel like there's a partnership, like they tried to represent at the eBay Open, they need to do a better job of showing that the other 362 days of the year through their actions. And all we want, I think, would be better communication to start. I can't sit up here and say, eBay's website sucks. They need to spend millions upon millions of dollars to do a new one. I don't know what that entails, but knowing that most sellers know that there's a problem with the website, and we're still willing to sell on there anyway.
Right.
Okay. So we're accepting this, but at least work with us as partners so we're more informed throughout your pain points, because it's causing us pain points.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's one of the things I discussed with this person on the phone, was eBay needs to be transparent. You know, it needs to be consistently informing its sellers of upcoming changes to the platform, not just things like you experience with the negative feedback removal and all that 2 weeks after a live, like an open event, but anything they know that's coming, give the sellers a heads up so that they can plan for it. You know, just be transparent with the sellers. That's all the sellers really want in the end of the day.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's been for the longest time, for many, many years, our biggest complaint is communication. I mean, we worked for a very large transportation company, and we were advised of certain things that were taking place. You know, hey, next week there's going to be we're shutting down the tracks for X, Y, and Z, and here's what the plan is going to be. You know, yeah, there were some times where we didn't get that, but the majority of the time we were well informed of what was coming ahead.
Yeah.
And if we could just get eBay to say, hey, you know, we're working on the servers in this district, and it's going to affect these people. I mean, just something. Give us anything. I feel like they treat the biggest sellers.
Well, they do.
I mean, we're peanuts to them, so we don't matter, and so they just, you know, give us whatever's left over, you know, which is for them nothing.
And again, this is not an eBay, for lack of a better term, bitch fest. This is simply just to give an honest assessment of what many sellers feel, how they feel about the product. I want nothing more than eBay. I want to see eBay succeed. This is no different than being a fan of a sports team and watching, you know, seeing a lot of promise there, and then seeing mismanagement of that team and going, man, you know, we could be in the playoffs this year if, like my Raiders, right? Mm-hmm. We could be in the playoffs this year if they did X, Y, and Z. That doesn't mean you hate the team. It means you're frustrated on how the team is being ran. And that's kind of how I feel. You know, I'm a fan of the eBay team, and they constantly let me down every year, even though we're still making money on the platform. And I think if they made these changes and listened to the sellers, I think they would see that they would have more success for themselves, which I think is what they're focused on. And the sellers in turn would also see more success because we're not dodging glitches and fighting problems all the time. So, right. And I think sometimes they cater to the 5% of bad buyers / bad sellers and make policies that affect all of us when they need to just deal with those bad buyers and bad sellers. I think that's another issue that eBay needs to do. And they do it under the guise of, well, we don't want to offend anybody, or we don't want to, you know, upset, these people by kicking them off the platform, or we don't want to lose any more buyers. They then create policies that handcuff good sellers. And I just think it's an issue that maybe they need to revisit, like this whole feedback thing. I think that sometimes it's very obvious that feedback shouldn't be even an option for some of these buyers, but they still allow them to do it. Or they allow the feedback to stand under some crazy notion. Real quick, though, before we continue, I want to acknowledge, I didn't get a chance to acknowledge Duncan from Australia. KFC Time, Flippin' Easy 8 membership. This is something that Duncan's offering, by the way. So this is his average. He's asking for us to sponsor this. He's offering a $299 membership.
US dollar.
Yes, to his channel. So go find, if you could find that, then good for you.
And today the funds are going to Keith and not to me.
So,
and I'll gladly have that.
So thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that. You guys are great. You guys are great to support the channel.
Yes.
So here's the thing. So anything else you want to say? What are your final thoughts? And I believe there's somebody that's somebody that you spoke to had mentioned that they were thinking about maybe tuning into this live. Are there any final thoughts that you have? Any final takeaways from eBay Open? And would you go again? I guess would be something to say.
I would go again, but I wouldn't necessarily go again for eBay. I'd go again for the resellers that are there, because as we all, I think every reseller that was there that met up and spoke to each other, I think everybody managed to take a little nugget away from whoever they spoke to. I know I got ideas and tips from resellers, and I know resellers have taken tips from like myself and so forth. So I think a lot of resellers, although you might have just spoken on lives or through comments on videos in the past, but you actually get to meet them in person, and we had more interaction with other resellers than we did with eBay.
Right.
So it was like eBay put on an event for resellers to have a meetup, basically.
Right. That's what it really I feel like it came down to is, everybody's feeling great and hyped, and there's music and lights and, balloons, and it's a whole big social gathering.
Yeah. The person that I spoke to on the phone, said that they was going to tune into the show tonight because they wanted to know more about what I was talking about in regards to you guys and Primo and spam side of the story as well, and wanted to know a bit more about sort of the issues that us resellers have to deal with when it comes towards eBay, which like John was talking about a lot during the show. So hopefully, it's not falling on deaf ears, but
well, and that's the thing. It kind of feels like it does because we make videos all the time to share with the community things that go on, and it makes you wonder the folks that are on the board, are they really oblivious to seller issues, or is it not pressing enough for them to address? So it just makes me wonder, well, why is it that they do have a media team, they watch videos that people make saying, hey, there's a problem here, there's a problem there, I have an issue with this, and yet there's nothing's changed. It's the same thing over and over again. Now, I will give them their flowers. They did make a lot of, I think, changes that some say that were kind of no-brainer changes, should have been made on the fly and not held over until eBay Open. But at least they were made. I guess you can acknowledge that. I just really think it's a communication issue. It boils down to there's a lot of sellers who really aren't sure if eBay's in tune with our problems or not. And we're kind of out here on this island by ourselves without any real support, because you can't get that support when you call eBay for that. You can't do it through their chat bot. So there's many issues that come up that you have to get lucky on the phone and get the right person, or you are at risk of having something happen to your account. And it happens too many times for it to be okay. So that's kind of where we're at.
At least you guys were honored to have the CEO there. He didn't even bother showing to us.
Yeah.
I told you guys were going to get a Temu knockoff of Jamie Iannone. So I don't know who represented himself or herself to be that, but that's what you guys ended up getting. But look, I guess it's eBay Open for one day with no frills is maybe better than none. At least to be able to give you the whole point would be to give you a seller an opportunity to interface with eBay in hopes what's the whole point? If they're not going to take the data and make the changes that these sellers are complaining about, then why even have it? So is it a PR thing to make eBay look good, or is it supposed to be a productive process? So I guess my only final takeaway to anybody who's watching from eBay is, if there is a real purpose behind having these events, then follow through and use this data to make good changes. It's not just a bunch of sellers that are showing up to complain about things that are going on with their stores. These are real pain points that I'm sure you're going to find if you meet with enough sellers over time that, hey, this is a big issue. Let's fix it, right? Yeah. But it just falls on deaf ears, it seems like.
Right. We want to see eBay succeed. And that's why we are so adamant about expressing the pain points of everyday business for us, this community. We are in the trenches every day doing what we're supposed to be doing. And I feel like there's just this lack of care for the sellers on the platform. it's just really sad because we want eBay to be bigger and better. And we're giving everything to this business because yes, it is our livelihood, but we want to see eBay succeed.
Yeah.
Well, eBay is getting bigger and better. It's just the sellers that aren't.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
And they have to look beyond their shareholders. And I know that's their priority. That's what keeps them in jobs. I mean, none of the board members would be there if the stock was plummeting.
Right.
So that's their number one. It's not a fiduciary responsibility to the sellers. It's more to themselves. If we're being real about it, maybe that's a little harsh, but at the end of the day, it is to the shareholders, and us sellers fall like right behind the buyers. And that's just kind of the way sellers feel about it. And
I think we've come to the conclusion that we accept that because that's how we've been treated forever. And so it's very difficult to have expectations of being anything more than, just another seller on eBay.
Yeah. No, like I was saying, if only one thing out of 4 pages of these questions get addressed, that's a start. But I'm not expecting that much.
Well, and again, eBay, we're on your side. We just want to feel like we're on your side, and I think there's besides some of these events, there's really not. I don't care how great of a show you put on. It feels like a show when you don't see the same kind of enthusiasm from eBay the rest of the year. So I'll leave it there. So how's your sales? Real quick, I want to give you a shout out. Check out Keith's channel. You want to shout out your channel for everyone on YouTube?
I'm sure somebody from the chat can put it in.
Yeah, if you could. But you do a great, you do for a new channel, you put together pretty good stuff. So I'll give you kudos there.
Yeah, I sort of enjoying doing like the edits and the videos. So yeah, there's going to be more coming. There's more planned in the pipeline for that channel yet. So there's more to come from it. But yeah, it's sales wise. This is again I put it down to eBay because in the weeks leading up to the eBay Open, sales went through the roof, literally. Almost tripled. And 2 days after the event, they just dropped straight off, and they've been just like ticking over, so to speak, ever since. So yeah, I put it, maybe it's a conspiracy theory, maybe it's John's tinfoil hat theory, but I think they just build up the hype for all the sellers that they know are coming, and after the event and it all goes back to normal, your sales start going back to how it was previously before the show was even announced.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I get accused of being tinfoil hat all the time, but it's hard not to try to draw your own conclusions when there isn't a manual for this, and no one's saying, hey, put out the entire algorithm so that we can try to game the system. No one's doing that. But at the same time, when you have a report that shows consistent traffic, but you have irrational sales results, it just doesn't make sense. I made $1,200 yesterday on eBay. No, it's not made, but I sold $1,200 yesterday on eBay. Today we're at like $300. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I just want to understand. I think all sellers want to understand. I think there's sellers right now that are struggling sales, and they want to understand, want to do better. And part of that's understanding about what's going on with eBay.
The reason I say that is because not only did my sales increase, but a lot of the sellers that were at the event said, for the past few weeks, their sales had like tripled, doubled, or whatever, had taken off. And it's only sort of this last week where they're putting out their videos about, the Open and about how their sales have been going, that they've all been saying the same thing. Their sales just took a dive. It's just, is it a coincidence that, so many sellers can experience the same pattern?
Hard to say. It kind of goes back to, well, is it the economy? Is it, all these outside factors? I don't know. It's, Look, we're experiencing pretty solid sales. We're starting to build up a second store now. That store is starting to do much better. And look, I have no complaints. It's just a lot of the times you'll hear me complain because I've been contacted by other sellers. They share their stories with me, and I feel like I have a platform to share that information to try to help the masses out to fix their situations, like with Primo and Spam, their situation. And how about this? We were told at eBay Open that there's no plans for eBay to hold funds until 3 days beyond delivery. That's just being done on a case-by-case basis for certain sellers or suspicious activity. But you continue to hear people having their accounts changed over, and there's no suspicious activity. They're not new sellers, and it's being rolled out very slowly, like a drip and a drip and a drip into a bucket. And it makes you wonder, were they not supposed to tell us? That's why they gave us the answers that they did. Did they not know themselves? Is it even going to be a thing that's happening? In a year from now, are all of us going to be dealing with funds being held 3 days beyond the delivery date?
It's similar things have been happening over here as well. So I think it's something they may be beta testing, or just dipping their toes in the water to see how it plans out. If they get too much feedback, about it, then they might sort of revert. But yeah, I think they're testing things to see what they can roll out and get away with.
And I really do think it kind of boils back down to the whole fiduciary responsibility of the shareholder. If they can make extra money through interest on holding funds, then hey, they're going to run out at some point on growth for the company through promoted listings, because at some point people are going to stop paying. My floodlight camp's going off. They're going to run out of people who are going to be willing to spend 20+% on promoted listing rates. There's going to be no convincing sellers to utilize priority promoted listings when it doesn't work for most sellers. So they have to find new ways to bring revenue in. And my argument has always been, and this is something for any eBay rep still watching, you got to find a way to get more buyers, specifically Gen Z, onto the platform, and showing what eBay can do to better their lives through buying or through selling. And I just don't know if eBay has yet done a good, and I think they've made an attempt, but I don't think they've done a good enough job to help.
I have seen quite a lot of TV adverts lately from eBay. But again, it is targeting the younger generation. So hopefully that will bring maybe some fresh blood to the market, should we say?
Yeah, I've been seeing commercials, and when I went, but I haven't seen them on the programming in my area. It's only when I go to California for some reason. I don't know how they target different states or countries or what have you, but in California I see eBay commercials quite often on the streaming services, and I think it's great. There just needs to be more of it. Exactly. Billboards, the whole shebang, because we're losing Gen Z. I mean, or we haven't even been able to get to Gen Z, whether it be from social media or what have you. It just started pouring rain.
And eBay has a little bit more difficult challenge right now with with Whatnot growing, with sites like District out here in the US growing, not to mention Poshmark, who's been here, Mercari, who I have no idea what they're doing. Etsy, Depop. There's all types of sites that are similar to that to you in the UK. So I get it. It's a little bit more difficult for market share, but they still are at the top of the hill, and they can't just relax on that. They need to continue to push the envelope and to get the word out there, because the younger population, they're seeing these other platforms and they're not really seeing eBay. You could still go up and ask a young person, where's give me 3 places you'd go buy something online, and eBay is rarely in that conversation.
If you ask the same question, you ask the same question over here, most people will say straight away. Will say vintage.
Yeah.
You know, the first choice is vintage for most people. They're looking to buy things, online.
Yeah.
So they've lost that buyer's market to the younger generation because they're all on vintage.
Right.
Yes.
If eBay don't if eBay take their foot off the gas for even 1 minute, vintage is going to creep up behind them very quickly.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to some of the wonderful people in chat. Of course, Keith claims he was first, but he was told to be here first. So I got Mike. We'll give Mike the award for first today. So thank you for being here, Mike. Let's see. Wants to know if everyone's had a nice week.
Yes.
We got Beard, who is, I guess, third, but he said something about ending the podcast. I guess he's upset that he had to wake up from his nap. I don't know. And we have Derek, who's
Hi, Derek.
not with us right now. He had to step away, but he was nice enough to come in and say hello. Thomas S. Nice to see you, Thomas. Josh Galt says he just got off the phone with Jamie Iannone. He says he loves you both and is wondering if you want to catch lunch next weekend.
Sure, only on your bill.
Here's your buddy, the Crazy Life.
There he is.
Now, is there a relation there?
Is that your son? Is the Crazy's Life your son, Keith?
Yeah.
We figured that out.
Yeah.
We, it's like, okay.
He's very shy and quiet.
Yeah.
He's very camera shy. I did try to get him to join me. Well, when we're coming on here, but he's like,
Callie Debs is with us. Nice to see you, Callie Debs.
Hello.
Gail says, hey, John and Jenna, FA fam. I don't know if this thing's going to work with us today, but nice to see you. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Mix Mercantile says, hey, John and Jenna and everybody, another killer week, up 44% over the last 30 days.
Wow, that's excellent.
Who else we have? I don't think it's going to work. We're on StreamYard, so. You lose on the winner says, I see you men getting your XP points pregame in. Oh, you got to get here early and get your points on. That's pretty awesome. Kevin Hawthorne's with us.
Oh, you forgot Joe.
And Flip It Good.
Yeah.
And Joe Samard says, howdy, John, Jenna, Pitco. Hope you feel better. Well, thank you, Joe. It's coming around.
He's very, very nasally congested, but it's starting to finally, I think, pass through. Oh, boy.
So this is the segment where Jenna has to get up to go and answer the door. Our mailman's at the door. You lose on the winner says, I've seen you were chatting about food. I'm originally from the South, so yes, grilled and fried foods are our favorites. We have a big Texas barbecue in Vegas, and it's good. Reminds me of home. I need the name of that place because there's a few that I want to go to and try out. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. And it's hard to go to barbecue when I feel like my barbecue could be the best in Vegas. I'm just saying. He says, what will we do today without having Pitco in the chat? The rest of us better speak up. LOL. So nice to see you. We've got Devon and Biff, who likes to change his identity, but we know who you are. I used eBay's offer to promote my store. I'm not expecting much, but I tried my best to make it work as well as possible. So there's an offer right now where you can, I think eBay will pay a percentage of promoting your store. And I think it's a great idea on paper, only really though for those who maybe sell within a niche though. I don't think someone like me could even benefit. That's why I even haven't, I'm sorry, you might want to plug your ears on this one, Keith, but I haven't updated that video for my store. So
no surprise there.
We need to talk about that.
Well, hey, if you want to do a submission, if you want to do a video for me,
no, it's your job.
I'll be glad to put it up. Jane's Jungle Safari's with us. Nice to see you.
Hello.
And we've got, I think it was Casey, New York. I think it was there, but I don't know what happened.
Right there. You keep pulling him back and forth.
Where?
Right there.
I can't see. I'm dead blind. Okay. Casey, New York. Nice to see you, Casey, New York. So here's something I want to show you guys. And I'll try to get some more comments as we go through the show. Something very strange. And I want to know how does this happen? And first of all, if you are having a bad day, if you're having a bad sales week, this hopefully could make you feel better about your selling situation. So this is what we're talking about, case in point. This is a seller who has sold no less than 120 items for zero. Okay.
There's something
Zero.
really suspicious.
How does this happen? Zero. Free delivery. Zero. It isn't like they're doing zero plus $50 shipping. I mean, some of them have some shipping, but how do you do this? Why does this happen? Is this a program someone tried to utilize? Maybe one of those AI listing programs they did in a batch, and they didn't realize they had zero tied to their price. Are
they all being sold on the same day, or
No,
is this over
no,
how many?
September 28th, September 2nd, September 27th, September 30th, their entire month is shot. October 6th.
Wow.
Excuse me. September 6th. I mean, look, zero. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and waste your day, but if you look to see, this is a list that doesn't seem to end. I counted 120 and stopped counting. I mean, we have some Nikes in here. Some good stuff, some Brooks. Here's these. I've sold those Nike shoes. I sold those myself for like $100. They lost $100 on that deal. They did get $12.
They got $12 for shipping.
They may have. They still lost money with their eBay fees after shipping. I mean, okay, now we're getting into some of their ones where they actually made. So I counted. This is the last one that they sold were some Nike hockey skates, and I don't know. I've not seen this before, and it blows my mind. You see it every once in a while where something comes up as zero, but not an entire month's worth of sales.
I wonder if that's a glitch that is happening.
Yeah,
and you just happen to find it.
That's weird.
That's
so
very strange.
So I want to know, you guys out there who are watching, let me know what you think about that. What do you think about that, Keith? Any thoughts?
I think if it's genuine, I think it might be someone that's gaining the system, leveraging the system.
How?
Selling. Well, it'd be like if I listed something and then I got a colleague to buy it, click buy on it. It's building up their account. So it might be someone that's just building up a new account.
Okay.
Biff says, thanks for messing up his honey hole. But we know that Biff doesn't sell all that kind of stuff anyway.
Store with my honey hole.
He doesn't sell that kind of stuff. So you try to make me feel bad, but no. Jane Jungle Safari says, my sales are doing a bit better now since I reworked my entire store.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Awesome.
We love to hear that.
And for those of you guys who don't know, we do have a members only program where we do live streams for members, and we really get in there, and Keith's in there as well, where we're just looking at stores, whether it's other stores or our own stores, to try to kind of bounce ideas or best practices off of each other. And that's one cool example of one where we did. Jane was cool enough to volunteer her store. We went through. She was willing to accept some constructive criticism about what was going on. She made the changes, and she's doing better.
That's amazing. I'm so excited for you because, as soon as you get out of your comfort zone and you start to get, it's scary and not knowing what's going to happen. Once you get to a place where it's okay to make changes and you feel comfortable about it, and then things start to work and you're seeing the money come in, it's very rewarding. And I'm proud of you for doing it. So,
let's see.
Hi, Devon.
Devon says, John still sounds sick. I have that.
It's all in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we pushed through. I still went out and worked today, and still going to do things over the weekend. So
Monday was the only day that I did really have to force him in the bed. Because
That's maybe totally wrong.
even then, he tried to come out, and I made him turn right back around. Don't you dare.
But I did sneak out and work one time.
Only in the evening.
Nick says, I love eBay. It's changed my life, but always remember eBay cares about their shareholders and we're tools used to please them.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Look, you got to look at it from this. I'm not trying to give eBay any outs here, but look, if you were in the shoes of, you have a corporate job and your number one goal was to make sure that eBay was financially secure and finding new ways to do that, I can't blame them for that. But at the same time, we're the ones affected by it, and we're gonna speak up when it's just a little bit much. We've got Flipping from the Trailer. Nice to see you.
Hello.
We have Michelle R. Thank you, Michelle, for being a member. Says,
Hi,
hey,
Michelle.
D. Hi, D.
Hi, D-Do neighbor.
Like, who's D? Derek says, we'll catch the replay. Got some family members. We know
okay.
that was going on. Mike G said, unless you're a money producing seller, you're dead to them. You have to be at least 500K. And then he went on to say how he was at 350K. So you're $150,000 short there, Mike. Sorry about that, buddy. Christopher Nutters is asking other resellers on stuff. You get better results than dealing with eBay. Yes, you do. But also there are still eBay employees in the US that still sell on the platform. I spoke to one last week over the phone, and I like to think that because they deal with all the problems throughout their day on their shift, and then they go home and work their accounts, they're probably the experts, not the frontline eBay reps that don't get a chance to sell because they're in other countries. I'm talking about the reps that many years ago, many of us used to remember speaking to. I can remember speaking to most reps would say, yeah, I sell on eBay too, and I didn't know that, or here's something to try, or whatever. You don't get that kind of interaction anymore when you speak to someone at eBay, because they've contracted this work out to countries that don't allow them on the platform as sellers. So, of course, it wouldn't make sense if you have someone in the Philippines selling on eBay.com. It's just, I guess it's possible, but it's just not the way it's going to be. So you're going to get people who are out of touch, who are looking at that as a means to an end to make money for their family, and aren't going to care about eBay beyond it when they go home, like a U.S. employee who actually lives it. Let's see. Mike Mecco, it wasn't just security who were clueless. We also asked eBay employees about the registration process, and they didn't know the procedure either. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. eBuyer's Choice says, hello, enjoying the show.
Nice. Well, thank you.
Nice
Welcome.
to you. Duncan used to have eBay concierge because I was in the eBay 100K club, but they stopped the program. Makes me want KFC, but wife wants rice today. Well, you're not having KFC. Sorry, buddy. Wolfman's Goodies says, howdy, everyone. Nice to see you, Wolfman.
Hello.
Paul Rose, there he is.
Hello.
Yeah, evening, John, Jen, and Keith. Nice to put a face to the name, young Mr. Prosser.
Yeah.
Had a concierge too. They just canceled it for a lot of people with no warning.
Oh.
It was probably not worth their while to have it.
Yeah. You
did I miss? Oh, okay. Well, I was going to talk to Spam before I talked to Primo.
Oh, then go ahead.
Okay, too late. Primo says, aloha, Pitco, John, Jenna, and the family, FEA family. You guys are too good to us. I'm really sorry I didn't have a better experience. We still hold out hope, but feel like eBay didn't action an opportunity. This could have been totally different story. Could have been kudos to eBay after eBay Open. We had a problem with this 3-day hold on our account. There was a misunderstanding, and due to the fast acting promise that was given and followed through with by this unknown rep who will remain unknown, kudos to eBay. Awesome. They're changing their leaf, right? But it's just not the way it is, apparently. Spam says, every day I'm seeing eBay group sellers posting about their funds being held till 3 days after delivery. What's the common denominator? A large sale? So do you have to screw up one time to be put in this permanent doghouse? because that's what it is. I don't care how you spin it. Well, if you spin it like it's going to happen to everyone eventually, well, why are you picking on me first? You know, just put it out there and let us know that this is something that's coming to a eBay store near you.
Yeah.
And that, you know, nothing's worse than having it sprung on you. If you're counting on these funds for your livelihood, the last thing you want is to have nothing in the bank, thinking that I'm going to make a lot of sales this week to put something in the bank. And it's now all those funds are being held weeks and weeks, because sometimes these packages can take 2 weeks or more to get delivered. And now you're really thrown into a bad position where you can't pay your bills, because let's be honest, most eBay sellers don't have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 in the bank to lean on in case there's a problem.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. And I think that's where eBay is sort of out of touch. Do they understand what they're doing to the common seller when they do things like this? Now, Primo and Spam, they have other eBay stores that this hasn't happened to.
Goodness.
So it's not that big of a deal. But can you imagine if this is your only way to make ends meet, and you now have to wait longer than you should have? So Paul says, I've been watching and listening while stuff crisps and chocolate in my face. I'm so decadent. Yeah, that sounds good.
Chocolate
sounds
and
wrong.
crisps.
That sounds wrong.
That sounds
Very
very
British.
diet.
David Pentland from Scotland says,
Hello,
good evening,
David.
John, Ted, and chat. Nice to see
Did you get your package?
I think he did. He did.
Oh, he did?
He did.
Okay.
I just didn't share that fact with you. He was
Oh.
very happy with it.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad.
Let's see. Samantha Hunter says, hi, John and Jen and FAE viewers. Nice to see
Hello,
Samantha.
Samantha.
Copper Cat's with us.
Hi, Copper Cat.
And SCG Collectibles. My sales have been as they always have, like crap.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, our sales
They're
are
kind of, you know.
they've been good. I'm not going to complain.
I did have a very large spike and then a.
But it's stabilized. So
Yeah.
she, in that second account, we're getting about $150 a day in sales. Now that's up to from like where it was almost nothing. So the goal for me is to build that second store up to where we're in the 200 to 300 a day range.
Mhm.
And that will allow the off days on the main store to just make it like an average day, $500 or more between both accounts. But I tell you, we had $1,400 in sales yesterday between the two stores. Today, it's only like $300. So it's sort of a juggling act.
The day is not over.
But I kind of screwed up.
What'd you do?
I kind of screwed up. I was doing the end item sell similar. Well, it's not just all my fault. It's also eBay's fault a little bit, because I selected my 10 items in my 300 item main store to do the 10 oldest items to do a end and relist. And I selected the 10 and it gave me an error message. And I'm like, well, that's weird. So I refreshed the page and I selected them again. At least I thought. It selected 200 of my listings and I ended them. So
so I can blame you when I can't.
And you can't what?
Spend money.
Well, you can always blame me for that. But
I do.
But I went in and I had to reinstate those 200 listings. So it's like, oh man, I had it perfectly. Because to me, it's like a 10% of my store every day. 10% of this, whatever the number is, that's what I'm doing. So I wasted 200 listings or 190 listings unnecessarily, and those have to get recataloged. So today it might be shot. It might take a hour or two for those to actually start showing up for sellers.
So
for buyers.
Renee F made a good point. First day of Prime made it kind of slow. I totally forgot about Prime Day on Amazon. We had, I think it was a 2-day Prime Day thing.
Talking about the one in June?
No, we just had it.
But that's
two
that's
days
some
ago.
kind of a weird Prime. It's not the real Prime. It's like
they call it a Prime Days.
I don't think they have
It's not on right now.
So
it's over.
It ended already. Okay.
Yeah, it was only 2 days, I think it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Monday and Tuesday or Tuesday and Wednesday, but that is a fair answer, because I think that may have been true.
And so you say, Keith, that have you tried everything to get your sales going and it's just not happening for you, huh?
Yeah, well, like I've tried doing the sort of end and sell similars and all that sort of thing, all the usual steps, but they're just still like just ticking over, should we say, at the moment. But they'll pick up. You just got to push through. I'm just doubling down on what I'm listing, so bringing up more listings.
Interesting. Well, an update to one thing I've been dealing with, and that is just trying to figure out what to do with this.
Thursday was prime. I'm sorry.
Okay. Figure out the storage situation. And now that they've upped the rates, it's now $243 a month. It's every bit of $3,000 a year, and it's really a 15 by 10, not a 20 by 10. It's a 15 by 10 unit, not refrigerator, but it's air conditioned, air conditioned unit. Very nice. I'm not complaining about it at all. It's very good for what it is, but is it necessary that I have it? And how often do I have, reflecting on this it's almost been a year, reflecting, is it something that I use enough to make it worth my while? I have intentionally in the spring, I bought so much merchandise, bought pallets upon pallets of stuff. And it isn't the greatest stuff, I'll tell you. It's good, but it isn't the greatest. It isn't the stuff that I'm buying. I buy stuff online from multiple sites locally every day. And that stuff to me is the bread and butter. So my thought is, here I am, I'm increasing literally increasing the cost of goods for those items that are in the storage unit every month, to where now if I'm into those 6 pallets for $3,000, because I think it was around $500 a pallet, by adding another $3,000 to store that, I've just turned that into each pallet into $1,000 on the cost.
And it will continue going up as it stays sitting in the storage unit. So in all, in my opinion, it makes no sense for us to keep it. I think the reason we actually decided to do a storage unit in the first place was because last year, Q4, and the year before, Q4, has not been good for us. And so I think we did it out of paranoia, because we wanted to have more of the things that we do sell on a regular basis tucked away, so that Q4 we could alleviate the deadness of Q4. I'm making up a lot of words today, but that's okay. The slower sales for Q4 for us, because summer we knock it out of the park. There is no summer slowdown here.
That's our best time of the year.
Yeah, and so I think we should get rid of the storage unit, which is what we've been really talking about the last 2 days now, really heavily. So,
it's one of those things where you still have good stuff in the storage unit. It's that now that is becoming the problem. You have all this merchandise that you got to do something with. I don't want to keep that storage unit until it's gone, because at this pace we'll have that for the next 2 to 3 years.
No.
So we have a patio out in the back. It's not small, it's not big, but it would easily hold maybe a 10 by 8 storage shed. And so for us, that's an option, but even then that's not going to accommodate all the stuff that's in the storage unit. So there's a number of steps that I want to take. I've got to redo the garage to absolutely maximize the storage space. If that means I'm minimizing my work area, then that's what it's going to have to be, because ultimately we're trying to grow this business. And I think we're succeeding. The fears that I had and now it's a little early. I know we're only 10 days into Q4, but the last couple of years, our problems didn't start like on October 1st. It seemed to start like the first week of September, and it continued until the end of the year. And when we run just sales reports, just from from September on to like middle October, and compare the previous years, I'm seeing numbers like 30-40% increase in sales. So every day that passes, I'm getting more encouraged that the right move is to get rid of the storage unit and to just work within what works. I think as far as running a business, you have to be mindful of all the costs that you're hemorrhaging in this case. $3,000 a year. It's heck, I'd rather invest that into something that's going to help our daily business. So, and I think there's other people out there who have storage units that maybe in their mind justify having them. But I guess at the end of the day, you should kind of revisit it and say, is it really worth the extra cost by having this extra inventory? And for me, I'm thinking that because we have so many sourcing options available to us right now, even if plan A, which is where we do our daily, we have to resort to plan B, which is something we haven't done in a while. And even if we go back to plan C, we could still make this thing work. So Keith, you have storage out there. How do you, you said you just got a warehouse, right?
Back in January, I got a warehouse. So, and that's filling up rapidly, but then there's two sides to mine. I'm not just doing eBay or online sales. I'm doing the e-waste as well. So we do, get a lot of e-waste come in, which we have to process. So it's, it fills up quicker with that stuff than your general stock, so to speak.
Yeah. So is your stock, it's coming in and going out? It is.
Yeah. With the e-waste, you're processing it as quickly as you can, so you can get it in, get it back out to the refiners. Because as soon as the refiners get it, it's money in your bank. Okay. So it makes sense to turn that around as quickly as possible. And anything that we come across then that we think, well, it's too good to go to the refiners or whatever, then we might hold back and then break that down for parts and stuff like that to sell on eBay.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Thomas S says, is that a Yellowstone shirt? Love it.
Yes, it is.
I thought he was talking about my shirt. No, this is a Tree Cat shirt.
Yes.
And while I don't have the video up here, yes, he's got his own
embroidered eBay one.
There you go.
I know.
We need to do that. We really need to get some shirts made for the channel.
I have the shirts. I just haven't
done it yet.
Got the new desk set up.
I did.
Got a new desk. She's got it all set up the way she wants it. So now there's no more excuses, right?
Right.
Okay. Paul says them getting more and us getting less is not a sustainable model. The wheels will come off for them too at some point. I don't want the wheels to come off for eBay. I don't see. There's some people that say screw eBay, F eBay, eBay. It's just a lot of bitterness you get. I'll probably get some in this very video. But that's not what I see. I want to see. I still see a lot more potential for eBay. They're slow rolling their eBay Live. I think they need to do a little bit better with eBay Live and getting it out to more categories. Did they showcase eBay Live when you were out there?
Yeah.
I think I saw in your video. I think I saw where the stage was or whatnot. Was that right?
Yeah. Just to the side of the stage, if you look at the video or watch the video, you'll see it looks like a little old-fashioned tour bus thing that they got in there, which is eBay Live. They were basically promoting it there, and they were giving out like little starter kits, if you like. So basically, you had like a little microphone, a little like ring light and stand and stuff like that, and a little map. All in this little bag sort of thing, just to sort of encourage people to start doing it. But when you basically what you had to do is you had to register to get this freebie. So you had to fill out a registration for it. Whether you get accepted or not, you still had the freebie. It's just a process. But they did say there's only certain categories and certain people with history of selling live that will actually make the grade, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I get that. I understand where they're coming from. That last point, many people might say, well, that's not right. I'd like to do the live selling. But if you think about some of the just off the wall stuff that happens on some of these live selling apps like Whatnot. They just apprehended Cool Kicks, who it's alleged that he was selling some stolen goods. They showed a video clip. I saw a video clip where he was selling these new nice Nikes. I mean, like $70-$80, and they're like worth $200-$400. And you're like, how do you do that? And that would explain it, right? Whether they're knockoffs or they're hot, right? eBay doesn't want that kind of stuff. You have to have some kind of now, I don't know what's to have stopped before all this went down with Cool Kicks, them coming over to eBay saying, hey, we sell all the time on, these platforms with no issues. And then that happened there too. I don't know, but there's a reason why they are being very careful with that. And it's their reputation.
Yeah.
I think that they are very concerned and careful with these brands. And the last thing you want to do is piss off Nike. And then therefore they never want to be on your platform again.
Well, eventually they'll sue you, and that would be a whole mess. I don't want no part of that.
Brady Bunch Biff says eBay lies about impressions. They are far too consistent, while my click-through and conversions are also consistent, yet sales can crash on any day. Doesn't math. The bottom line is erratic.
Yeah, true.
It's sort of like having a store in the mall, and you have the same level of traffic day after day after day. Some days you sell a ton of your stuff. You have a lot of people in your store. At least they say that there's a lot of people in the store. And the other days you don't have hardly any people buying. They're just looking. It just doesn't make sense to me. You don't get the same type of numbers as you would on a brick and mortar store. I can promise you that. Paul Rose says that's the problem. It doesn't follow logic. You can work your A off and do everything right, but it counts for nothing, and you end up wasting so much time trying strategies. Think it's just luck. None of that used to be true just a few years ago. Well, things are changing. AI is a big benefit, but it's also a big problem as well. It's not where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And Paul wishes you well in your sales there, Keith.
Yeah.
Biff says, I think AI shopping assistants will come along, and central platforms like eBay will become archaic. We'll all have to Shopify. eBay is playing its end game right now. There's that Comet browser I was telling you guys about, without going off too deep into AI, because I know a lot of people it's like kryptonite to some resellers. But you actually can go in and say, look, go onto my eBay, and I want to find anything that meets this criteria that's under $10, and I want you to watch it or something, right? And then it's done for you. You can go back in and look at it. There's cool things going on with AI that can really help your process if you want to put it into play. Do you use AI at all, Keith, within your business or within listing on eBay?
I use it for listing, and without, like you say, without pushing AI too much. eBay ruled out their eBay AI active program in the UK. I don't know if it's something you guys have got, but they're rolling that out officially in November, although all the guys that went to the Open have got early access to it. So it's basically, what it does is just gives you free entry to Chat GTP5, basically, rather than paying for it.
Yeah. Well, hello, Renee. Renee says hello, and John Elashat. I think I have that right.
I think you butchered that last time.
Elashat says, hi, John and Jenna. I bought a 1975 Honda Goldwing last weekend at an auction for $100.
Wow.
To part out on eBay. Nice to watch you too. That's awesome. You're talking about at least a couple $1,000s worth of parts on that bike, right? If not more.
Yeah.
I mean, some you probably wouldn't want to sell on eBay. You probably want to sell locally, like the tires, the wheels, that type of thing. But wow, that's pretty good.
That's awesome.
The Gargoyles Den Diecast.
Hello.
And then who else do we have? Fortnite Forever 853. Where's your buddy James Helferstay? Well, you know, he's a good guy. He's a good dude. I don't know. He usually watches this channel. I know he does because someone gifted memberships and he ended up getting one. So I don't
That
know.
doesn't mean that you want
I think that's usually what it means. If you gift membership, is that your? Is that what you see?
Okay, we can have this conversation.
Well, I'm curious because the king gifter of memberships is here with us. So, how do you think memberships are rewarded on YouTube? Are they rewarded based on viewership or just random draw?
It's basically to do with the algorithm picking up how active you are in chats and on lives or in comment boxes underneath videos, not just on like your channel maybe, but throughout the whole network of YouTube. So if they watch 50 different channels and they're very active in commenting on like comment boxes or on lives, then they will sort of get favored over the ones that just don't bother, you know.
Yeah.
Right, but they have to watch that channel that's the giveaway is going on. It's, you know, on some level, right? They're not just going to get some random membership.
Because there's times I've been given memberships for a channel that I haven't watched in months.
Exactly. There's one I got gifted a membership to a live that over here. There's people that have a fascination of watching airports live every day, all day. I've never even been on one of those watching them lives, you know, sort of channels every day, sort of thing. But I got gifted a membership to it, and I'm like, well, I've never been on it. I never use it.
Yeah. That's same
Okay.
here. I had the same experience.
Thomas S says I saw it as well, that zero price deal. Other sellers having that same zero might be just an eBay thing right now, a bug or something. So it might be that the item did sell for whatever they were asking for, and it just shows up as zero.
Yeah.
I hope for that seller that's the case.
Yeah, I honestly think it is a glitch because of the fact that Thomas saw it as well.
Henri Squaw says, did you check out their store to see if anything was listed for zero? I checked that. It's not there.
No.
That's a great story. I don't know. This is the thing. Would you guys, is there anybody out there who would do that, would take advantage of that kind of situation, go in and buy up those zero priced items, that knowing that poor, without at least saying to that poor seller, hey, do you know that like 100 of your items are showing as zero right now? And giving them a chance to confirm that they're just out of their mind, or because that is one heck of a way to just ruin your eBay business, right?
Yeah, that would really.
I couldn't see myself. Somebody. I couldn't see myself. I could not sleep at night if I did that.
I would not be able to sleep.
Unless they're clearing their death pile.
Yeah. I mean, I would certainly want to send them a message to just verify.
But if that's your death pile, they went that far. Why not just put a good price on it?
Just throw it on the, just throw it out in the road.
Really? Because after eBay fees, you now owe eBay for the fees on the shipping.
Right.
Or on the free, you don't have to, actually, you wouldn't owe anything. In theory, you'd owe the insertion fee and the transaction fee. You'd probably owe about maybe less than 50 cents, 60 cents.
Right, but you're also taking the time to tape it, use packing materials if need be, and shipping it out. I mean, that makes no sense to me at all.
And then Beard has a nice little message for you. Hi, Jenna. Nice to see you have recovered from your belly laugh. So, Mr. Scott, through AI, instead of Dora the Explorer cartoon, it's John with an angel's hat with the backpack, and there's a monkey with an angel's hat on his shoulder. So I'm sure he will be glad to share it with you tonight on this show in the next 30 minutes. Spam says, I think it's a glitch. I'm copying the titles and I don't see zero sold price.
Okay, yeah. See, I really think it's a glitch.
Yeah, Duncan wanted you to push that button, but
you
I don't know
if you can do it, Duncan.
I don't know if you guys can hear it that
even
way.
If you have to eat rice today. No KFC.
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
That's great.
Don't loop it.
I'm not, but that's how it defaults. That's why I don't like to do it on StreamYard. Oh. Sorry, guys. We had to do that. Get it out of the system for Duncan. Candy O says, hello, J&J. Really wanted to stop by and make sure those two crazy resellers for Vermont were in the chat. I always worry when their show is no show. Happy to see them here. Pokey rules. Yeah, they're great people.
Yeah,
We
they really-
enjoy them, and it was sort of a challenge this week to fill that time slot, that 2-hour time slot on Monday and Wednesday. I found something to fill it with, but it just wasn't the same. So stop listing your books and get back to YouTube there. Let's see. Spam Banshee says it's a large sale causing some of these holds. This is what people are reporting in groups. eBay directly told us explosive sales growth was the cause. Beware of large sales.
So large sales being on a large scale of sales all at one time, or in a very short period of time, or a single large amount that would, like one item that was sold. Like, you should know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Renee also says first day of Prime made it kind of slow.
Yeah, that's we confirmed that. Prime was Gail said Wednesday, Thursday.
Shopping with Cheryl says Walmart and several other stores also had Prime days, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
How come? I'm gonna have to pay more attention.
And then Prime was Wednesday, Thursday, even though Thursday was a killer day for us. So and maybe what it is, because a lot of our stuff is Amazon. They're going over to Amazon and saying, oh, well, it's still $150. But John over here on eBay is selling the same thing for $100. So we'll just, I don't know. You need goods, gifts, goods, and books says, hey, you two, I hope you're well. So our on and off again girlfriend, that is Canada Post, is stopping the strike, going to rotating strikes tomorrow. Good news, but still no certainty yet.
Yeah, the uncertainty for me would be really the most frustrating part of it. I'm so sorry you guys are.
And then goes on to say, I just got my first sale in 2 weeks today.
Oh, good.
Still waiting for the international shipping program to kick in. Wondering if eBay is waiting until the postal workers get a contract to turn it on.
Oh.
Again, they're always looking at the buyer experience. So, while we might think as sellers, oh, we could pull it off, I think eBay is a little bit more careful and wants to make sure that the buyer is not disappointed.
Yeah.
We did get a super chat. Thomas.
Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas. Heading out for my anniversary dinner. 30 years. Have a good weekend. Well, thank you, Thomas.
Anniversary, Thomas.
That's awesome.
And your beautiful bride. Enjoy your
much.
dinner.
You might get more than McDonald's tonight.
I don't eat McDonald's anymore.
Oh. So
Susan Phelps.
Susan Phelps is
Hello.
with us. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Shopping with Cheryl says on eBay Live, do they auction then, or just to buy it now and just show the items they offer? It is an auction, much like Whatnot.
Much like the Whatnot.
Yeah.
Big Dre, hello.
Yeah, Big Dre, nice to see you. Paul Rose says even Temu has an early Black Friday sale now on.
No.
Yes, I've gone to the dark side lately.
Wow.
Hey, I don't know. Maybe I need to go to Temu for that shed. Maybe I get a bigger shed for the same
Stop
price.
it. Didn't you look that up the other night?
I don't know. I was looking all kinds of
Yes, and
stuff.
you went down
no,
a rabbit
no,
hole.
it
went down a rabbit hole.
I got something on my screen that said if you buy one item, and I was like, what the hell item am I going to buy? So buy like this pack of women's socks. It was showing me all kinds of women's stuff. I'm like, why the hell are you doing that? So I'm like, honey, do you want any of this? She's like, I don't want that crap. I'm like, look, it's saying if I buy this pack of socks for $8, that I'll get $420 of free like credit. I'm like, that's BS.
What's it? It was a kickback.
That was a kickback.
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
it? I don't know.
Yeah, he went down a whole rabbit hole watching some YouTube videos on how to put together this Temu
What was it?
storage
It was
unit.
I wanted to see what people would, because it got my curiosity. How cheap is a Temu metal shed?
I don't want metal.
No, but I just wanted to see how the hell cheap. I mean, are we talking aluminum foil at this point? or I mean, how cheap and flimsy does this have to be? And
because we get really bad wind here. The wind is crazy here. I could just see a Temu shed just picking up and flying away. That would be awful.
It'll kind of look like the moon landing.
Yeah. It's terrible.
So no, we're not I'm just trying to make sure my settings are right because I'm getting some feedback. It's really strange.
Oh.
In it to flip, it says I had to opt into getting free memberships. It was only a couple days after that I was gifted a membership from Derek.
Oh, you had to opt in. Okay. I mean, maybe I'm automatically opted in, I guess. I don't know.
UTC Towing says, hey, everyone. And
how are ya?
Bachelor Brad, happy Friday. Nice to see you, Bachelor Brad.
Friday.
And Queen Bees AZ, she's a member. Maybe it was an ex's stuff and they just wanted to be able to tell them I sold your stuff for free. Wow.
Wow, now that would be quite funny.
How does an INAD
Actually.
work on that, by the way? Like, I want my free money back. I don't know. UTC says, what is everyone averaging for sales? Good, bad, or okay? Good so far. Not some are good, but just
good for this season.
Good. We're okay with it. John says, don't feel bad. Everyone butchers it. It's pronounced last chat. Not the first chat, but the last chat.
Last chat.
Okay, I remember that. Love listening to you too.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes. Oops, something went wrong. eBay money screen just popped up. It's
you got another sale.
Spam says single large amount. That's what happened to us, and that's what I see others saying.
Okay, so it's like a single sale of one large amount.
Shopping with Cheryl says, I wish eBay Live was like Amazon Live, where you just show the product and people click the link in the stream to buy. I don't like the auction type shows.
Yeah.
But it's, the auctions that are on Whatnot, I don't know if you've ever checked them out, but it's not like eBay auction where, I really like this thing. I'm going to bid up to what I feel comfortable paying, and now I got to wait 5 days. It's like within literal seconds, you're going to know if your bid is enough, right? And you can keep bidding, and it extends time until that time is that last bid. Nobody challenges.
Oh, okay.
Picking with the pages says, hey y'all, driving home from an estate pick, so I'm hang out with y'all. Temu aluminum foil. OMG.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny, right? I mean, I can see John at least trying to buy something like that because he is El Cheapo.
I am El Cheapo, and it's just it's hardwired into me at this point.
Yeah.
Paul says, John, some of that actually decent stuff on Temu is actually the same stuff on eBay. Sometimes eBay is cheaper. Also, big stuff, land ship can get snagged in customs for a while.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, Temu, they have warehouses full of this crap.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they do have warehouses in the US. I do know that because I got roped into the same little thing that you did. They would give me $300 if I buy the one item right now, which was a t-shirt. And so I bought it, but it doesn't work. I didn't get $300 to spend.
Yeah.
But it was the same quality shirt as something I would buy on eBay.
Gail says, most places have a requirement for metal sheds to be tied down. But if I was to go metal, which I'm not, I would have big enough one to where I can have those large racks inside. That would be the walls or the foundation of the floor or whatever would be held down by the weight of these racks, which I do.
There's no metal bottom on it.
Some of them you can attach them and like through hardware. Yeah.
See,
but
we're not like, we're not builders. We're not, actually I am. Because I put together my desk and every other piece of furniture in this house. Thank you very much.
No. Let's get this right. Every other piece of furniture in this house that you have to have, the only stipulation is I got work to do and I can't spend 3 or 4 hours on another project. I'm sorry. So you're gonna have to take it on. That's the reason why. Now, if there's something that I see like, I can use for the business or something, I'm putting that together. I'm not putting it on you.
You have not put together anything.
The racks. Don't tell me the racks are a pain in the ass to do by yourself. Sorry.
Okay, but every other piece of furniture in this house, I have put together myself.
Keith, you're supposed to get in the middle and say, guys, stop it.
It's entertainment.
It took me 5 hours to put together my new desk. 5 hours.
Paul wants me to go metal. There you go. There's your bad headbang for the show. So we're at the end of the comments. Anything else you want to chat about? Anything that comes to mind?
No, I basically just wanted to come on and talk about, what the eBay Open was like compared to what you guys had.
So are you soured on it, or are you planning on going again?
I think it, unless they improve, I think the eBay Open going forward is just going to be an excuse for resellers to meet up.
Yeah.
And we have that anyway. We have
we
meetups
can do that
here.
on along with Mike Metco's
it'd just be on eBay's dime instead of ours.
Right.
Let's see. Callie Devs, the tough sheds are great, but they are expensive. Mine made it through the 85-mile-an-hour winds that we had last January. Pick It With the Pages says, I live in Amish area. It has perks, so I've got them building me another 40-foot wooden shed.
I wish
we need to get Jacob out here.
I wish we lived in a different area where Amish were, because I would pay them to build us a big warehouse building. That would be amazing. Yeah,
Gail, it's a John, 8-foot metal are not that hard to build. Even with the instructions, they say have 3 or 4 people. Well, that ain't happening. We might have 2, right? I might see if Archie can come out and help me, whatever. But aside from that,
I was gonna say 2 is not me and you; it's you and somebody else.
Yeah, that's the Archie. He said he would. So I don't know about metal. Like I said, there's other better options.
Yeah, we were at Sam's Club last night doing some grocery shopping, and they had their shed, the already pre-built sheds up on display, and so we went and looked at them, and I think that's what we're gonna go with, because it's a wood,
but it's an 8 by 7.5, and it's a pretty
large,
pretty tall.
Yes.
It's well built and put together for $750, which is damn cheap.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering if it's still going to present the problem that I have. I'm going to have probably a solid 2 to 3 pallets worth of stuff that I have no home for.
Well, like we discussed, we're going to pull, because we have some things that are in the garage that are our personal storage, so no, I would not be doing it. That's a big fat no for me. So we've got some personal items that are in the garage that we can move and put it in a shed, and then he'll have more room for either more racks and a rack along with extra storage. So I don't know. We're going to have to figure it all out.
And then Pat says the pool is closed.
Oh no, I bet she's so sad.
Steven says might be better if you could add on to your garage. We can't. We rent this location, and
hopefully one day soon
at some point we will. That backyard area has a really large concrete patio area that we really don't go out there anyway to do a whole lot other than barbecue. The dogs go out there and do their thing, but I mean, we really don't do a whole lot. When
the kids come over and our granddaughters, they like to play out there, but that's not very often. They haven't been out here since
they're coming for Christmas.
Even remember? I mean, they're coming for Christmas, but even still, they can play around a shed.
Yeah. So, Bachelor Brad, the metal sheds tend to leak water during hard rains, but we don't get a lot of hard rains.
Well, we're getting rain right now,
and it's really dry here. So whatever rains, it just dries up right away.
It does dry very, very quickly.
But I want to thank you guys, everyone, for being here. Being here with the program, especially you, Keith, for taking your time. It's late at night. What time is it right now? 1:40 in the morning?
12:41.
12:41, and you're probably not going to go to sleep after this, are you?
He does not sleep.
I don't sleep.
I mean, but you got to give yourself some rest, right?
I mean, sleep's overrated. You're going to get all the sleep you need when you're dead.
Yeah, this is true.
I guess. I guess I could probably double my business if I don't sleep. Maybe that's a challenge I should try to accept.
You know,
Or
they say you're supposed to sleep 8 hours a day. Well, what, 8 hours a night or whatever. But if you do that, that's half your life you spend in asleep.
Yes.
Real quick,
Very
You Want
true.
You Need says, thank you for spending your anniversary with us. We loved being a part of your marriage success. We are your beautiful extended family. That you are, but it's not our anniversary right
No,
now.
our anniversary was on September 10th, but thank you
Thank you,
very,
yeah.
very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you all for being here. We're going to, I don't know, it just depends on how much I have on my plate. Probably try to do a members only here the last Wednesday probably the last Wednesday of the month. So if you guys are members, go check out the members only stuff that's already recorded, or the lives that we've done, and go check that out. There's a lot of good stuff in those shows. But other than that, I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you guys to go over and head over to Bearded Picker's channel. I don't know if I'll make it tonight. I'll try. But there's always a good, lively conversation about reselling going on over there. And I'm sure he's going to share the whole Dora the John the Explorer thing with you. So with that said, again, I want to thank you, buddy.
You just gave him permission.
I did. That's fine. So I want to thank you, Keith, for being here again.
Yes.
And we look forward to you back in the chat on the next one on Monday.
Yes, thank you, Keith.
Take care, everybody.
Pleasure.